Being mayor of Calgary is my dream job, and I want to make this the best Calgary it can be, and that's what I'm focused on.
But how are you going to get over the fact that you obviously, seeing as you were born in Toronto, are still a Leafs fan?
That was a horrible thing to say. You know,
That was a year ago this week when I sat down with Calgary Mayor Naheed Nenshi. He just pulled off an incredible victory at the polls, one that heralded change in the city and beyond. So a year on, the National is putting Alberta in the spotlight to see how that change is playing out. We'll be broadcasting from Calgary on Thursday, but we're getting warmed up tonight, picking up where we left off with Naheed Nenshi. He's still Mr. Popular. So what's the secret to his continued success? Ian Hanomansing got an inside look.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Fatima.
Fatima, nice to meet you. Where are you headed today? How are you? Thanks for saying.
Here's a tip. If you're walking around Calgary with the mayor, don't expect to get anywhere in a hurry.
Press the middle button.
I'm zooming out. There we go. I used to be a marketing prof, so I use everything as a focus group opportunity. So today I was being a bit good on the train. Usually if I'm on the train, I will harass people and say, so where are you commuting to? Does that commute work for you? Is it working better or worse? What did you think of the train disruptions we had this summer?
Naheed Nenshi doesn't just ask questions, he answers a lot too.
You're having trouble with the immigration side?
And when he can't solve a problem, this man has an immigration issue, not something the city has the power to deal with, he still tries to help.
You can just call 311 and ask for the mayor's office. Remember this part, speak to Scott.
It's actually the first time meeting you. Have a good day.
Well, thanks. You too, Stephen. Take care.
Nenshi's principal mission seems to be engaging voters. Heard the one about how people don't care about politics? Calgary's mayor doesn't buy it.
That I've never actually met anyone who's apathetic about their community, who actually doesn't care about their future, the future of their family, the future of their community. The challenge I think we have is that people don't see a connection between their own hopes and dreams and fears and challenges for their own futures and all those institutions, whether it's government, big business, nonprofits, that really are supposed to be acting as forces of positive change in people's lives.
It would be easy to dismiss all of this as campaign rhetoric, except the campaign was a year ago. Nenshi's message did help him knock off two well-established candidates, talking about issues and embracing social media. From underdog to winner, he captured about 40% of the vote in a three-way race.
As a technicality.
And now, 1 year later, polls show his approval rating is the highest among mayors in Canada, almost 90%, even as he's made his way through municipal minefields like property tax increases and budget cuts. In past years, public consultation came at the end of the budget-making process, not now.
You know, and what we did this year is we turned it on its head, and we started with the public, and it wasn't a perfect process, but it was a process where we went out and said, what do you want from your city? What do you expect us to deliver? What should we be doing more of? What should we be doing less of? Contact information other than Twitter. Frank probably has it all.
And for those who wonder what happens behind the closed doors of the mayor's office, like this meeting with a Calgary-born musician, Nenshi voluntarily posts a list of who he meets with privately. Last month it included officials from banks, energy companies, taxis, even the government of Pakistan.
People want to know if I'm being influenced by lobbyists. We don't need an expensive lobbyist registry. I'm just going to publish a list every month of everyone I met with. You know, people are worried about campaign finance reform, and I'm very worried about campaign finance reform, but instead of waiting for the provincial government to put in new rules, I'm just going to act as though these rules exist. So I'm not raising any money until a year before the next election, which is very uncommon in this business. You know, people want to know where I spend my money. I publish every expense in my office every quarter on my website. You know, I didn't have to wait for legislation to tell me to do that. So the commitment that I have to this openness really starts with everything I do every day.
The openness is an interesting angle because one of the reasons why he won was he really not only touted openness and transparency, but he delivered it.
Pollster Bruce Cameron says a year after being elected, Nenshi is still connecting with Calgarians.
I think people see the kind of energy and pride and that he has and the way he articulates it, and they feel proud to see him there talking on behalf of the city.
And answering questions from young students visiting City Hall.
I'm not a huge fan of this project, but it was a decision that was made before I became the mayor, and now my job is to get it done as quickly as possible.
To people at a downtown C-train station.
You know, you pay $90 for your monthly pass, and then you can pay another $70 for parking, but we haven't yet figured out how to get the systems working together so you can buy just one.
Of course, no mayor can serve every single resident one-on-one, but Nenshi says the key is to multiply his access by 15,000, the number of people who work for the city.
So I've really pushed hard on a simple message. Every single thing that you do, as my colleague at the City of Calgary, you should be asking yourself the question, how does this make it better for someone to live here? It's pretty straightforward. But I think being able to make that mental shift, to understand that we work for the citizens, not the bylaw. We don't work for the bylaws, we don't work for the processes, we work for the citizens to help them live a better life in this city. That's how you fix it.
These are good days for Calgary and its mayor, but in politics, challenges loom around every corner.
Gentlemen?
The city is wrestling with $140 million in budget cuts, perhaps the biggest test yet for Nenshi's citywide conversation.
How are you?
Hanomansing, CBC News, Calgary.